I like to go back to what you said there about the battle of the bubble. You know, will that pressure turn these rocks that are really so close into diamonds, or will they crumble and fall? And you know, this is a squad right here that is shining really bright. The brightest diamond in the sky, the Evangeline, so to speak. So Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson are looking really solid right now. I mean, what does this Twitter mean? Like, in these two-day format, Keswick squad has got 82 points just for Elands. But the train hard, the battle of the bubble is on here, Sundown. And like they said here at the analyst desk, this trio was just on that edge, coming in 16th place. This will be a bad fight for them to go down on, as already they lose one. Sundown, this looking super bad at the moment, but Legendary gets taken down as Skite is trying to hold on for the fight for qualification.
It might be looking super bad, but right now, Skite looking super good and trying to clutch it up. The question is, will his ID in the veteran be enough to get him through? Wants to be at that party at the end. That is the heat and the ultimate party, but right now, Rajasser's trio is in the way. They're the ones playing the blocker. They're the ones getting up to all of the shenanigans to keep him out, and that's going to be it. Skite gets wrapped up in the battle of the bubble. Bursts for the Train 8's trio. Say goodbye to the French squad as they go back to the lobby, and they'll have to think about next week.
Man, that is the 2019 taking out a bubble. A bubble gets bursted. It was like a McLovin ending right there for them. But Remix, Sean, and Squint have been kind of pestering the people out here in the Holly Hedges. And this is one of those things I was kind of pointing out here. This is another trio that kind of runs into 4ZR. So yes, they may win this fight here. They may win their engagements. But as they get closer and closer to that safe zone, they're going to run into that 4ZR. And that gatekeep right there. And you could come out feeling like, all right, I'm feeling good. It's like right here, like hold, and never mind. The call for holding is over, and here it is. Now it's all of a sudden, ooh, and a misplay with the shockwave right there. But maybe that kind of worked out. That gives Sapik a different angle to create the pressure at the moment as Siberia Jake is pushing on in, and right behind him is Rezumi. Rezumi right now, I wonder what this trio is. We have been seeing Lechi and Savage kind of hang out here in the outskirts here at Doom's Domain. Let's take a look right now as the zone is kind of pushing in very close. So we're going to have about 2 minutes here of fighting, and this is an opportunity to get a good clean fight. There's no one else looking in as Safik, Cyber Jake are on the bubble. We already saw one bubble burst, and it's going to be very important for this trio to stay up, and they're going to get the beams, get the tags. No white tags here, so this fight is going to be kind of stretched out a bit. Oh, the box breaker of it, yes. McKay goes down, so it's not the dangerous trio of Benji, but Safik with the nice box breaker play there, Sundown.
Yeah, really good job. He knew the second he had those 3 tags on him in the air, the player only had 1 shield left, lined it up. He still has 5 more crash pads. I thought he was going to go in on the top. Instead, opting to now regroup. What they need to do is find where this other player is, get some damage onto him as they get the AR trades, and then isolate him out. However, keeping an eye on the top left, Mongrel getting a knock there onto Refsguard. That's our team in 3rd place, and they're going to need a whole bunch of eliminations and that victory royale if they want to close the gap. Again, 27 points behind Keswick's 4ZR and Nate right now for the #1 spot. They want to try and deny that back-to-back. But speaking of denying and bubbles bursting, Siberia Jake gets a little big for his britches, oversteps. They will get the downs there. However, Safik coming in, cleaning up, saying the bubble won't pop yet. He put a little bit more soap on that one, is able to put a curve ball in. And Siberia Jake, they'll get him up. Need to utilize some white heals and some shields, but he should be in an okay spot.
And now they're on the cusp of qualifying, and they don't want to go through it again. They want to have those good vibes and feelings knowing that they made it through, so they could use next weekend's ability as Boyer gets taken out. And Boyer, that's the end of that run. So as more stories are concluding here in this final game 12, Sundown.
Yeah, and Boyer, they're currently sitting in 20th, very much on the outside looking in. I actually don't think it would have been possible without like a 15-plus elimination game. Not something we've really seen coming out so far in the European region. But Kiriachi, Rotary, and Stormy Right just going to continue on this outside rotation.
Yeah, they were finished 2nd place in that previous game right there. They were in the fight at the very end, and at the early on, I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it right now. The storm is here at Stark Industries, and you're seeing a lot of trios making their way up it, and so now that's going to be a great advantage for the Miros, for the team at Craigie Cliffs. I mean, so many advantages are kind of breaking down, Sundown.
They're breaking down, but there's a team on the side, and what Wisep was actually looking to do, he pulled the harpoon out because he knows that his teammate could have potentially gone down there, and he wants to get, they're getting as many of the heals as they can onto Wisep. Him holding the harpoon means he can actually harpoon people closer to him, but now they're getting jumped on by the other team who is down bad in the storm. It's Kiriachi, Stormy, and Rotary recognizing, hey, they can take this advantage right now. Rotary's HP is ticking. He needs to find a one-shot if it's going to be anything. He finds a huge one on the Wisep, but it had to be a one-shot. He couldn't afford to need a follow-up. Erkin gonna get the conversion over there, which is some more much-needed HP. However, Pickus not finding the siphon there is going to get ticked down. Wisep is actually going to opt to pop the medkit. So Kiriachi and Stormy Right, if they're paying attention, should nope. I was about to say they should know. Instead, they're just going to bounce their shockwave out, saying, nope, this is a chance for an ambush. Not going to happen. And right now, we actually have a battle for the high ground in the priority position. Raison and his trio are a part of that. You can see a number of shockwaves going off, panning around the side there. We know that 4ZR and Co. are still rotating up. You can see Mongo, Micho, and Tayson. So actually, our second and third teams are boxed up directly on top of each other. I think they're just receiving fire from either side. A little bit of harassment coming down. Mongo sitting on an elim, Tayson sitting on an elim, trying to pressure forward, and if they get this, that's actually monstrous because they've effectively eliminated any of their other competition, and they'll be able to at least hop them with a couple more placement points. You can see 19 trios left, 54 players remaining. Storm Surge probably won't come into a factor if 4 more end up dropping, but right now it's all about, and boom, look at that, Teak going down, good conversion happening there, an additional point ticking over, and I mean, they're so close to being in contention range if they can hold this high ground one more time. And they're right up to the line. As you see, Raison gets wakey, but the key thing is now top 17 placement points are ticking over. They had an 18-point lead, but 0 eliminations. They grab Matzo, toss him back. This is so they can get the shakedown and guarantee the damage. But more importantly, because of that lead, now that you're into placements and ticking those off, you're able to, in your head, start to do the math a little bit, right? So third, second, and first pushing all the way up is an additional 11 points. So that means if Mongrel and Co. end up winning the game, they need at least 15 eliminations right now to close the gap, as long as Kazakhs and Co. can make it into the top 4, which we've been seeing time and time again. That means the pressure is on. If they're really trying to go for the W, they need to be looking for some more of these eliminations, or to go find 4ZR, Nate, and Kazakhs and eliminate them. They've been playing the safe side of zone the entire time, and right now, if you look in the bottom right, the zone has pulled completely away from them. So this is the best opportunity possible for Mongo, Micho, and Tayson to capitalize, as we're going to hop on board with Hen, Siftos, and Patrick. They use the crash pad, but not quite finding the player they were looking for. It seems like they were trying to find an aggressive little peek because they have next to no builds left.
Next to no builds, but maybe they find some right here. It's gonna be able to bolster this one right now. Is Hen is going all in here to find these kind of build opportunities, but you're seeing the zone is pushing off of Stark Industry, so the pressure is off a lot of the IGLs, the in-game leaders. But here are the leaders of the leaderboard at the moment, sitting pretty with a clean rotation, and nobody is looking their way, and they're gonna have an opportunity to kind of make their way slowly into the engagements, make their way slowly higher and higher. But I just feel that this team is on all cylinders. It doesn't matter where they fight. Low, mid, high. Granted, they have not been fighting high because it has been the Mongrel show up at height alongside with Tayson and Mitro. So it's going to be so interesting. How does 4ZR do it this time? How can they maintain their dominant places? And right now, it has to be the favorites just based on leaderboard standings to win the FNCS Trios, and they break down Mongrel. Oh my, they put some big time beams and chop it on down with the edge of their hand. The big time plays there from 4ZR.
And we talked about how they're doing everything right. The observers nailed it when they showed the rotation down onto the low ground, because the zone pulling back on the other side meant nobody else was over there. They got a free rotation towards the side, tarp along the front, which they've been doing the entire time, and then looking back, shot down deep into the zone to find the connection, and was able to knock out Mongrel right before the rotation came out, messing up the entirety of that high ground. Likely we're not going to see it. It's been 6 games today. 4 of them have had Mitro, Mongrel, and Tayson up on the high ground, but in a key game number 6, when everything was on the line and they needed to do something to secure that team and push them away, they found the shots into the zone. The rotation coming out right now, you can see 4ZR, Nate, and Kazakhs hip to hip on the front end. 16 trios remaining, but right now it's all about those placement points that are ticking over. They won week 1. Can they win week 2? They are well on their way right now.
The finishing touches are happening here in Game 12 in this masterpiece that's being painted right in front of us by 4ZR and Nate and Kesix, showing exactly how a trio should function, giving us the textbook for other people to kind of follow suit as Pucha cleans up the mess right there and gets Mitro. So that is the end for that historic trio right now, but we're watching history unfolding right in front of us. A back-to-back first place finish in qualifiers. It's going to be a huge, as another elim gets right there on Hardfind. Nate, 4ZR, what are you eating for breakfast? Because I need to have some, because they are cooking it up and they're getting it done here, Sundown.
And not only are they winning these individual fights, they're finding the picks, they're finding the rotation, opens up the floor edit, looks back into the storm, 1 down, 2 down, and it's another team who is pressing into the top 10. That's Hen, Deceptos going, or Patrick and Deceptos going down, all going to be on the back of the young English Lord Hen again. But again, the story is about this French trio and where they operate. We've seen them play high ground, we've seen them play low ground, we've seen them rotate smart, and there's a reason that they're separated at the top. Nate picks up Hen, ends that trio, and on top of all of that, these are impact eliminations against qualified teams that are ticking over full points. 4ZR will finally get taken down. What can Nate and Kesix do hip to hip as 20 players remain, 12 trios, and they're almost on a victory lap at this point?
What an unbelievable victory lap that it is. Even though Kesix and Nate are by themselves, a strong performance. You cannot, oh my goodness, they're getting bopped right there, but he does have some floppers. He has some shockwaves. I know he's holding on to it, so he could go ahead and make a play for height. He's going to use one right here to break it away to get a moment to breathe, and Kesix gets cracked in the back, and this is where the trio that's been fighting hip to hip get kind of disjointed just a bit, but still, Nate is still up, Sundown, and he's going to rack up all those placements. We're going to take a look at the overview of entirely how everything is breaking down. Safik and Razumi are sitting at high, and that's going to be a big opportunity for them to solidify themselves in the top 15. I'm looking for any other bubble teams. Kiko, yes, Kiko on the bottom is a bubble team, and he has to clutch right now. Kiko is racking up points. I think Kiko is the only bubble team besides the Wakey and Safik and Razumi.
And you can see right now Nate in the top right, and this is what they've done so incredibly well, is when they do get down there, they're able to just outlast, not find other people. Nate, unfortunately, out of white heels, is going to be looking for a pick, and he finds one right there. That's huge, and that's 2 points because it takes him into the top 5, gets a couple of key builds as well, and finds the space. Kiko now in your bottom right. The winner, back to back, is in your top right. That's Nate as he gets another down. Kiko's on the bubble in your bottom right. Keep an eye on the wide as you have Razumi and Safik, another team who is trying to push forward and make it to the top 15. Finally now, you see Kiko, 3 eliminations, only 3 builds left, but Old Man Mountain comes to claim its toll, and a shockwave knocks him down, but it knocks him behind Wakey, and he gets the conversion, finally knocks it out. But will those 2 points be enough? Razumi and Safik are going to take their own victory lap as everyone else is fighting on the bottom, but a huge pickup from Snappy to get 2 extra points at the end. But that top 15 is going to be so close. There's no doubt who's at the top, but the question is who cements their name into Heat, Sancho.
Let's see a breakdown here. You can see Kesix, 4ZR, and Nate. They are leading the pack right now, 239 points. Shy only one of 2 teams to break into the 200 total.
And in 10th place, we've got Safik, Siberia, and Irazimi, the guys who we just saw in that last game pick up the Victory Royale. We actually followed them in the package before because they were 16th coming into this. So they were under the qualification slot,